Hello, I'm Gabe.
I'm Michelle.
And we are Why Wait to RV. We're going to make these little videos on our destinations, our traveling, our journey. And we'll just give you a quick rundown of why we chose this lifestyle over a traditional. We always wanted to travel when we retired. And I felt like we were just waiting to retire. I was sitting at my desk just getting older, waiting to be older.
I think every day looked the same, so I'm kind of tired of that. Wanted to make sure that we were healthy enough to enjoy this particular type of lifestyle, and so making sure that we were young enough to do that.
I remember after we decided, it was November of 2020 that we made the decision that we were going to downsize and move into an RV and travel, to decide what was important, a need, not a want. And then we had to come up with a timeline, like when did we want to, and how long should we wait, and even purchasing another rig and trying, sample runs for a while. Then we had the decision of the house, like we could sell it and take the equity and run, or we could rent it. We chose to rent the house. It's still in our name. And then our jobs. I chose to retire, and Michelle?
I chose to just quit my job and potentially do remote work if needed.
Okay. And then we had to choose what kind of rig we wanted. We knew we wanted the motorcycle or ATV, so we knew we needed a toy hauler, and we wanted it to be small enough for most campgrounds, so it had to be 30 feet or less, and it had to have a lot of clearance, a lot of tank space, big freshwater and big gray and black tanks. So those are some of the things that we looked at when we chose our rig.
Yeah, we chose it just because we boondock more often than we would be staying at a park or campground, that type of thing. So
there was some decisions about the house. Our house was in a great spot. It was in the mountains. It was close to work. It was close to a lot of trails. The day before I left, I took a picture of an elk right outside the deck, not 10 feet away from me, in my yard. It was a big house. Had lots of bathrooms and bedrooms and closet, washer and dryer, kitchens, hot tub, decks, and a big garden and a big yard. We have nearly none of those things in this camper. We have a small bathroom, a small kitchen, and our yard is wherever we take our house.
Mm-hmm.
Next, we like to talk about our jobs a little bit. I had a good paying government job, good benefits, a retirement, a 401 plan, and everything was, seemed bright for my future, but it was literally just waiting for it. Michelle?
yeah, just I think looking at how we can have health insurance, how we can maintain some certain things on the road, and that seemed like it was entirely possible doing that remotely, especially after COVID. Everything kind of lined up to make that more available.
I am a carpenter by trade, and I brought my workshop with me, so I'm capable of odd jobs here and there if needed, or if I get bored, I can pick up a job here and there to do some work. So far, we've only been out a month, and I've already created a few things. I may be interested in trying to sell some of my creative works on Etsy. look for that in the future. So we moved from a giant house to this 30-foot camper, and we had to downsize. We had to get rid of a lot of things. And I hear a lot of people talk about, you know, how just emotionally attached you are to things and what it meant to you as a child, or you know, whenever you purchased it or picked it up and you never really used it or did anything with it. It meant something to you, and it's hard to disconnect from. It's hard to get rid of that. But in the end, you really don't use it, and you never needed it, and it almost I feel lighter, like I have less to worry about.
Yeah, purging was hard. I think we got rid of 90% of our things, and some of it we did keep in storage because some of it you're just never going to get rid of. They're you know, hand-me-down kind of mementos and things that you know, you're going to share with your children and all of that. So
I know we went through a lot of trash. We threw a lot of things in the trash, and we did so many runs to Goodwill. They knew us by name.
mm-hmm.
It was ridiculous. I think when we left, there was still a few bags of Goodwill stuff at the house.
Yeah, I think when you decide to make these changes in your life, it's pretty extreme. So you need to make sure that you know what you can afford and what you can't afford, because money is tight. You want to make sure that every dollar counts, and so you got to look at what your total budget is. That's what I did. What expenses are we going to always have? What are some things that we could maybe pay off so we don't have that monthly debt? What are, you know, how much money, you know, does it look like monthly that we're going to need to have in order to pay all of that, and eat and travel. Gas is really high, so making sure that we have enough to do all of those things, and maybe a little fun on the side. So
then we created a timeline of when we thought it would be possible to leave. You know, we had to consider purchasing our rig. During COVID, it was very difficult to get your hands on a rig, and it took us over a year. I ordered a rig, and it took over a year to get here. So the timeline was really, you know, we stretched it out. We purchased a slide-in camper and took several runs in that to kind of get a feel for the road and how to stay and dump and pump and all the fancy stuff that comes along with RV life. And I think that a year and a half was plenty for us, and it worked well. It seemed like forever. It really took a really long time to happen. I remember I had a countdown on my board at work of how many days I had left to retire, and even after I retired from my position, I still had 2 months of side work just to keep busy and, you know, fatten the bank account before we left. So in our first rig, I remember we took it to Steamboat right away and did a ski trip. We took it to Rabbit Valley in January, yes. We went to Moab twice in the slide-in, and we did a tour through Idaho and Wyoming, Pinedale, and different parts of Idaho. It was a great run, and we decided then that we're ready, just waiting for our rig. So we finally get our rig in June of 2022, and there was just all kinds of delays. We spent a month in the driveway waiting for parts and pieces here and there that just because of COVID were unavailable at the time. In fact, we're still waiting for some parts that were unavailable a month later. But we decided that living on the road, we were going to have to deal with issues like that, and that we couldn't just sit in the driveway and wait. So we finally hit the road early July. We just wanted to make these videos in great places like this. Lewis Lake, Wyoming is one of our favorite places. We'll probably be here every year because We want to share our travels and great places like this with you.